How many siblings do you have?
Three.
You do? What are their names?
Deuce, Trey, and Samantha.
How old are they?
7.
Okay. What can you tell me about your siblings?
They are fun, energetic, sometimes frustrating, but hey, it's life.
Awesome being a older sister, huh? What else can you tell me about your siblings?
The 2 boys have autism.
What about your sister?
She has a learning disability.
Okay. Sakiya, what do you feel like your siblings have learned from you?
Probably more responsibilities. They learn stuff academically to do with like different languages. For example, Spanish. Taught them some of that. How to play nice. Their emotions levels sometimes. I help them with that, or at least they try to cooperate with me with that to be more respectful. So.
What have you learned from your siblings?
To be more patient with them, to take my time. I've learned that they learned more things, more languages, more than I even know.
Trey.
Yeah. How to play, because they have their different ways of playing than other children, or at least I do. So.
Okay. What's your favorite thing about being each one of their siblings? Starting with Deuce.
Deuce, his excitement. His level of energy and excitement is fun. That's my favorite part about being his sibling.
What about Trey?
Trey, his learning. Me and him get to count, say the alphabet, sometimes do math together, so that's fun. And write.
Awesome. Now for the big one, Samantha.
Probably get to playing around with her, playing dress up. We get to go outside and play, catch the ball with each other, or like do each other's nails or something, something like that.
What's the hardest part about being a special needs sibling?
Probably having a lot of patience with them, because it's like sometimes you get mad.
They get on your nerves,
yes.
girl. You can say it. They get on my nerves.
They get on my nerves. And they sometimes think it's funny when you're being serious. So I was like, I try to put my foot down, they don't listen. But I just have to realize that they have a different way of interpreting things. So it's not going to always work how you want it.
Has being a special needs sibling hindered you in any way? Hinder means have them coming into the picture stopped you from being able to do anything that you would normally be able to do?
No, I've always been able to do what I wanted to do.
Okay. What would you tell another sibling who has a special needs sibling? What advice would you give them?
Probably take more time to spend time with them. Learn how your patience level. Like, you have to take your time and you have to learn with them. So instead of them learning from you, you have to both come together and learn together in order to understand each other.
Okay. What type of sibling do you think you are? What would they say about you being their sibling?
Personality-wise?
Anything you can think of.
Oh, funny. Sometimes I can be a little bit mean. Happy, fun to be around. Yeah.
What advice would you give them for when they turn 15?
Take it slow. Don't rush everything because you still have a lot to learn. You know you're a teenager because you're just one step closer to preparing for life and to get into the real world. So take it step by step.
Okay. Have you ever, amongst the 7 years that you've been a sibling, felt neglected?
I did when I was younger because there would be like some point in time where I feel like I wasn't getting that much attention. But now I look back and I understand, because it's hard to take care of 3 kids.
So, at what point in their life was it when you felt like they got more attention than you did?
Probably like 8 or 9. It was probably like.
Which is the year they were born, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, as your mom, I want to say first that I apologize that you felt that way.
It's okay.
And for 2, I want to explain to you the severity of the situation. So you know by now, 7 years later, that we were pregnant with triplets. And it was considered a high-risk pregnancy because I'm only 5'2". So your siblings were born at 22 and 23 weeks. It takes 9 months to cook a baby. So I was right at about 5 months when I had them, which means your siblings could have died, or I could have died. And it was not because of anybody or that I did anything wrong. I'm just too small to carry them. So I went into premature labor and had them early. And as you know, because you used to be at the hospital, they were in the hospital 4 and 5 months. One of them, the oldest, was in the hospital 5 months. The youngest was the younger 2 were in the hospital for 4 months. And even when they were released from the hospital, they still came home on oxygen. One of them came home with a shunt in his head, which is our middle triplet tray. And as you know, he has hydrocephalus. So as the years went on, they were diagnosed with all these different disabilities. They had to take speech, occupational, and therapy, physical therapy, and they still do to this day. Thank you for being strong through that, for all of the help that you've given your dad and I. We've tried to keep things as normal as possible for you, but obviously a house with triplets is not a normal house. And I tell people all the time, it's a beautiful chaos. It's beautiful having a family, but I think we all make it look a whole lot easier than what it really is. So thank you for being such a strong, just well-mannered, beautiful kid, man. I couldn't ask for anything better. I tell people all the time, it was so easy having you, and you are such an angel. And then the triplets came along and they hell. But I wouldn't trade it for the world,
Thank you.
God gave us this journey because he knows that we are special and strong enough to handle it. And I know that's taking some getting used to, but that's just the hand we were dealt. So thank you.
You're welcome.
If I don't say it enough, I mean it. Thank you. Do you feel like you get enough one-on-one time and attention?
Yes.
At the age you're at now? What's your favorite part of the one-on-one attention and time that you get now?
Probably talking and getting to spend time one-on-one with each parent.
Okay. Are there any questions or advice or concerns that you have for us as it relates to the kiddos? Still think we spoil them?
No.
Do you think you're spoiled?
No.
Okay. Do you feel like we show favoritism?
No.
Okay. Do you feel just as supported as the triplets?
Yes.
Mentally,
Yes.
spiritually,
Yes.
physically?
Yup.
Do we make you feel safe enough to voice your frustrations and anger and sadness when you get frustrated by the triplets?
Yes.
Is there any time you don't feel supported?
No. It's just like afterwards, after I talk to y'all, I might go outside if it's the daytime in the backyard and just walk around and be to myself.
Because in our house, we are allowed what?
To speak our words.
That's right. What you say, what you feel, it all matters. There is no right or wrong. We have to respect and love each other, but we also need to communicate whatever's on our mind. We also are allowed our me time, our space, away from everybody. It's very important. Don't ever forget. If you had to ask any of your peers who are your age what their responsibilities are as far as their siblings, do you think you guys would have the same workload or more or less?
They would probably, well, one of them would probably have more than me, but like everybody else, they would probably have to have the same.
What responsibilities do you feel like you have as it pertains to your siblings? What do you feel like you have to do?
I have to help them. Clean.
What do you help them clean? Because you're lying. You lying.
I don't know. I can't think of nothing.
You can't think of nothing because you don't have responsibilities as it pertains to them. We may ask you to do something every now and then, like, can you give him goldfish? Or can you give him a bottle of water because I'm in the restroom? But responsibilities, I mean, like, your chore is, what are your chores?
Clean the kitchen, clean my room, and clean the bathroom.
Okay. What are their chores? They're supposed to clean their room and they're supposed to clean their playroom. It doesn't always work that way, but we don't make you go behind them and clean up their room or their playroom. Is that true or false?
True.
So technically, what responsibilities do you have as it pertains to the triplets?
None, really.
Okay. What are some things you may be asked as far as helping them goes?
Like helping them getting stuff?
Yeah.
Probably help them get a snack.
Or if we have to run and use the restroom, we may say, can you come out of your room to monitor them so they won't burn down the house while you have a quick restroom break. So other than that, like, do you get out their clothes, iron their clothes, do their homework with them, cook them dinner every night? You have pitched in sometimes though, right? We thank you for that. What's the best advice that we've given you for dealing with a hectic day with your siblings if they've had a meltdown and we're trying to get them calm?
Take a deep breath. Drink water to help you calm down. And try to take some time to go to your room and then come back.
What is a must have for you when the triplets are just all over the place, they have gotten on your last nerves and you feel like you're about to bust?
I have to be outside listening to my music.
Okay.
That's my list.
What do you feel like you do to get on their nerves?
Take their stuff or start messing with you.
So I am going to link a video on this thread of Samantha and Sakiya arguing. What are some of the things you guys argue about?
Her being in my room, taking touching my stuff.
Or you
taking her berries.
okay.
Maybe taking her shoes too, but whatever.
If you had to reverse time, would you still want siblings?
Yeah.
How many?
One. At least I'm being truthful.
Oh, goodness. So if you had to give Samantha, Deuce, and Trey back, would you?
No.
Why not?
Because they are actually, believe it or not, they keep me company. Because sometimes I do get bored. That's why I mess with them sometimes, because when I get bored, it's sometimes just fun. And I love it.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much for letting me interview you, baby girl.
You're welcome.
You have any questions for me?
No.
Oh, I actually have another question.
Okay.
Could you have a few friends who come over from time to time?
No, it's mine.
How do you prepare them to be around your siblings?
I try to tell them that, like, they do have autism, so they might act like other children act. They will act a little different. They will be loud and stuff. But you have to get used to it if you're going to be around me.
And so, how do you feel like your friends have adapted to your triplet siblings?
They treat them like they're their brothers and sisters too. Like they love on them all the time. They take their side instead of mine.
Especially Janiyah, her best friend. We call her our bonus daughter. We just love your friend, Sakiya, just like we just love you. You're so precious. Thank you for always being awesome. I know it's not easy, but we love you, and we can achieve anything.
You gonna